come in as a mass, group of guys, and then they go through a combine, and that's how they learn the sport. But I got like one-on-one private training every day for as long as I wanted.
When we brought out the slam ball court, we could not get him off of it. We would have practices scheduled for 2 hours with him, personal training sessions for 2 hours so he could learn to play the sport. And a lot of times we were out there for 4 and 5 hours. We had to literally beg him to leave so that we could get on with our days and, the rest of our job, because he wanted to be out there nonstop. He loved it. And he took to it so well. He really did. He was incredible. I told him from coaching it in the draft last year, if he was a real player, a legitimate player who had showed up at training camp at IMG, he would have gone probably in the 4th round of the draft. He became a very, very good player.
You have to learn how to trust your body. You have to learn how to not be scared when you're, 12 to 14 feet in the air. And you also have to learn to do what's called bailing out, which I think, initially was the scariest thing for me. It's when you get in the air and you're going to the rim, or you're going up for a block, or you're, doing anything in the air, and you maybe catch somebody in the air, or you're not going to come down right. You have to sort of sacrifice yourself and just, curl up. So you have to sort of establish like a fearlessness in your mind, and you got to get past that initial fear in order to even think about getting on the trampolines. And then it's a matter of learning how to control your body from going to tramp, or going up to the rim, or going from the tramp to the floor. And it took me a good 3 weeks to really be able to say that I was comfortable with it. But by the end of that 3 weeks, I was, dunking from the outside tramps and trying tricks and stuff. And then once the guys got there, I was able to see what they were able to do, which was, blew my mind and opened up a whole new world for me. And, really set up a great, next month and a half of shooting the sport.
Yes, you can. Oh, I can't tell you how happy it makes me to see you playing again.
Thanks, baby.
James is a natural. He's natural in the air. He's just kind of a phenom, basically. And I think he's one of the guys that truly could have played, in the league last year if he had been out there, not as an actor, just as an athlete. So he's pretty incredible. And Joe hasn't had as much training as James has, but he's really come along too. They're both professionals.
This is a rough sport, man. It's a lot more full contact than basketball. I used to play inside in basketball and we used to elbow a little bit, but this is like full on, like hockey body checking. It's pretty rough.
It's funny because it's actually kind of a science. When people watch a sports action in either a television series or a film, they don't really realize how much actually goes into it as far as the choreography, the coordinating, the camera plotting, the casting, how much detail actually goes into it. And it is quite a process.
Yeah, the choreography was difficult, and it was a testament to Brendan Kirsch's skill, because he had coached slam ball for years, and he's always been a basketball coach. But to coordinate a sport like slam ball is really difficult because it is such a free-flowing sport, and there's not, people aren't ever really standing still. Everybody's moving all the time. So in order to coordinate that, you have to know where, the 8 guys on the court are going all the time, and they're moving all the time. So it becomes sort of, I think the process of coordination and choreography was definitely more challenging because there was more at stake. But in the end, I think we were able to showcase the sport in a way that it's really never been seen before. I think, as Brendan kind of said and mentioned, we were able to showcase, more of what the sport can be in the future when, there's more time and dedication put into, making these plays and setting these plays up. Because that's really what we were able to do, is set up plays and do things that the sport really hasn't even seen yet. So it was pretty neat. There's guys like Stan Fletcher, they call him Shakes, and Noah Ballou as well. These guys are just out of control, doing like 720s in the air, 720s between the legs, like 360s between the legs twice. Things that I can't even like wrap my head around how you would begin to try to do something like that in the air.
I think if I was a kid and we had one of these courts in my hometown, I would have been all over that thing, man. All summer long, I would have been playing.
In Nathan's progression, you know, in trying to make it to the NBA and his journey and his storyline, I thought slam ball was a perfect complement to that because it was something new that nobody had ever seen.
I think that if people could have their own slam ball court in one way or another, this could be, you know, something that was huge. I don't see anyone not wanting to play it.
The action sequences, the aerial dunks. I mean, it's going to be something the likes of which Montreal hasn't seen before.
I had never experienced anything like that in my life, and it ended up being probably the funnest thing I've ever done.